Hello, and welcome to the Office of the Patriot. In this office, we try to make sense out of the nonsense of the progressive left and Rhino right. Holy crap, this is my 100th episode, and I'm still broke. Oh well, I do it for the likes anyway, so do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. So much stupidity has been floating across my Twitter and my Facebook and Instagram feeds that I've found just enough material for another installment of Why Did You Post It? And today, we're going to highlight the sick and demented LGBTQ ideology that gets to showcase their mental illness for an entire month. And this is referred to as Pride Month. They should refer it to lack of pride, because anybody who would walk around like these idiots for a whole month looks like they don't even have any. Next, you have a revelation for the J6 Theater, referred to by the state media as the insurrection that was staged and orchestrated by the Democrats in Congress. It appears corrupt Nancy Pelosi was caught on video admitting that she turned away National Guard troops that were slated to be in attendance for the January 6th Trump rally at our nation's capital. All this and a bit more in this episode of Office of the Patriot. Pride. I always thought that pride was an intense emotion that a person has as a result of accomplishing something that was extremely noteworthy, not only to themselves, but to others. Like maybe getting an A on an exam that you studied really hard for, or maybe going to an interview for a job against maybe 10 other candidates, and you took the prize by being asked to assume the position. I would never have thought pride would refer to the celebration of sexual perversions or about removing genitalia so someone can pretend to be another sex. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not some Bible-thumping prude. Sex is great, and what two consenting adults do in the privacy of their own home, to me, is no one's business but theirs. But if you choose to put your sexual preference out there by wearing rainbow-colored tutus, a clear thong, and a couple of pieces of electrical tape taped across your chest, you should expect that there's going to be a contingent of people, in this case, a very large contingent, that don't like it and are going to say something about it. I'm one of those people. And I'm especially going to say something about it if it involves children, even if the children just happen to come across your freak show. Like in this first video clip where you're going to see a pride parade out in Arlington, Texas, where drag show performance and vendor booths selling all kinds of sexual paraphernalia along with lewd graphic slogans and pictures were all in the line of sight of children. In some cases, it actually appeared that children were the target for this garbage. Take a look.
Sir, there are dildos in there. No, there's not. Yeah, it is. I'll show you the video. Yes, there is.
Give it up for Leland right up here in the front row. Leland, is this your very first Pride? Yeah? Have you ever seen a drag queen? You have? On TV or in person? Oh, excuse me. On your TV? Well, I haven't been on the TV yet, but I'm going to get there. We love you, Leland.
as I said, I really don't care who you have a sexual relationship. In fact, I don't even care if you decide you want to change your name from Mark to Michelle, tuck your junk, and sport some Victoria's Secret underwear, as long as you do it in the privacy of your home and not around children. I'm sorry. One caveat. You cannot force me to accept that you are a male when you are clearly female and vice versa, or no gender at all, which leftists refer to as non-binary. Also, I will not be forced to use your pronouns when I refer to you. If I know your name, that's what I'll use. If not, I'm going to use the pronouns based on your actual gender, and I can give two shits whether or not you feel offended that I misgendered you. Mike, where do you stand on this Pride Month crap?
This is a touchy subject with a lot of people. So first of all, I have to say I don't have any hate in my heart for anyone based on how they were born. That applies to their physical characteristics such as race, and it also applies to sexual identity. And like you said, I do not give a fuck what anybody does as long as it's not in my face and isn't being done to children or in front of children and teenagers. I include teenagers too, because I think, up until the age of 16 or 17, kids are way too young to be, indoctrinated with that garbage.
They're impressionable.
That has
I agree.
to do with all sex of all kinds. You shouldn't be allowed. So after more than 50 years, the Rainbow Mafia, as I like to call these, the extreme left wing of the groups, that are really rabid about this. They're still claiming to be, victims of oppression, and they claim to not have rights, which is complete bullshit. Just 2 days ago, I came across an Instagram post for a bar I follow. Happens to be in Las Vegas. There was it was a video. There was an employee hoisting the pride flag in front of the establishment. And, I'm pretty quick to blast people with both barrels when I see them, throwing shit in our faces, but especially when it's self-righteous virtue signaling bullshit, like worshiping the pride flag. To me, the flag is, it has some meaning to some people, and it's symbolic, has great significance to them. But honestly, these days it's being used as a flag of pure narcissism. So that's exactly what I said. And as expected, the emo-tard wing of the left absolutely lost their shit and started name calling. One of them immediately went to Facebook, found my profile, posted a picture of me with a statement and started talking shit about me. So, that's expected because that's what the left does. That's what a lot of the people on the left do. They cancel you when they don't agree with what you have to say. But it's just isn't just the Rainbow Mafia. It's many people on the left resorting to bullying and attempts to cancel. They want to cancel you. They want to destroy you. They want you to get fired. They don't want you to make any money if you have a business. It's awful. I can handle it. I don't really give a shit. So I expect this behavior, and I quickly, had a few friends alert me of their actions on Facebook. So I checked out the one person's profile who was attempting to demonize me, and they blocked me, of course. So I had to use one of my other accounts, and I was able to see what they were posting. So I didn't bother, reading all the disgusting comments either there or on that initial Instagram post. But, I know what they're up to. And it was interesting to see how quickly all of the emo-tards quickly joined the mob. I mean, these people are like, instant attack mode. They're like fucking locusts going after, a field of corn. So, I went back to the Instagram post. I made a few comments just to follow up and clarify, because if you don't clarify with these people, they take things way out of context. They just make assumptions, and then things will get worse. So you have to play cover your ass with these idiots all the time. So, anyhow, but yeah, I didn't bother reading any more of their bullshit temper tantrums, because I really don't give a shit about entertaining idiocy and insanity. So, that was long-winded, but, to summarize, anyone who's constantly in my face demanding I, bow down to their worldview, or even just demanding, acknowledgement of who they are, then, fuck no, I'm not going to accept anything about you or what you believe in. I don't want to be forced into anything. So a friend of mine asked me a question, are you a gay ally? And initially I was very taken back. I didn't really know how to respond to it. I didn't really answer her question. I think I made a comment about them having a whole month, and, veterans in the military have 1 day. So how is that fair? And that's kind of what I meant by narcissism. It's all about them. They want all this attention. So a couple hours went by, and I found myself getting increasingly irritated. And so I kind of formed an answer in my mind, and I'll state it as this. I would answer her and anybody else with this. No, I'm not an ally of any group. I don't base my allegiance or friendship to individuals or groups based on any claimed sexual preference. The way someone is born, has no bearing on their character. I will always defend those that I feel have good character, and that has nothing to do with sexual identity whatsoever.
I agree. That's absolutely spot on. I believe what sticks in the craw of most Americans is the fact that this crap is constantly shoved down our throats, more so now than ever before. And it isn't going to stop until we stop acknowledging it. Now we turn our attention to J6. You remember the deadly, infamous insurrection where thousands of Trump supporters armed to the teeth with AR-16s, because AR-15s are illegal, and stacked with 30-round magazine clips and ghost guns that people couldn't see, but they knew they were there because they're ghost guns. These conservative infidels stormed our nation's capital and took hundreds of innocent public servants and politicians hostage, and then demanded the immediate reinstatement of dictator Trump to the throne of the United States of America. Oh, you don't remember that? Well, neither do I. But if you ask any Democrat, that's exactly what played out on J6, at least in their mind anyway. But the real truth is now starting to come out. In this next video, we see Donald Trump being interviewed shortly after the J6 show by MSNBC Democrat sycophant, trying unsuccessfully to lay blame at the feet of Donald Trump for what amounted to trespassing by people who attended the rally. Trump goes on to advise her that the responsibility for security at the rally was at the feet of Nancy Pelosi. But the paid sheeple, she wasn't having any of that.
National Guard not coming. I asked her to be there 3 days in advance, and she turned it down.
She says that request was never officially made.
Oh,
just so you know.
Let me just tell you.
Let me ask you about pardons, Mr. President.
The mayor of D.C. gave us a letter saying that she turns it down. Okay, we have it. Nancy Pelosi also was asked, and she turned it down. The police commissioner
I'm talking about
Capitol
the day
Police,
of
wait a minute.
Yep.
Capitol Police said that he wanted it, and Nancy Pelosi wouldn't accept it. She's responsible for January 6th.
Mr. President.
Nancy Pelosi's responsible.
Mr. President,
you're
the president, though. You have
her.
authorities that no one else has as the commander-in-chief. Do you think you showed leadership on that day?
Yes, absolutely. I did.
Okay.
Now the truth comes out, because in the next video, Nancy Pelosi is seen and heard spilling the tea regarding who was ultimately responsible for the lack of National Guardsmen at the Trump rally on January 6, 2020.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they had. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
So it seems that the swamp can't get their lies straight, and this revelation points to the fact that this January 6th incident, yes, it's an incident. I refuse to call it an insurrection because it was anything but. This incident was a coordinated effort by the Democrat Party to not only vilify Trump, but to damage the conservative movement and the Republican Party as a whole. What pisses me off more than anything is that the Republican Party, led arguably through the RNC, did little to nothing to combat the onslaught of attacks against Trump and conservatives throughout the United States. This kind of reminds me of a movie scene, and honestly, I can't remember what the name of the movie title is. So once I give the description of the scene, if you believe you know the title of the movie, do me a favor, please put it in the comment section below. Anyway, the scene goes something like this. The actor Ben Affleck is talking to Jeremy Renner and asks him to help him go hurt some people. And he can't ask him about it, and they can't talk about it ever. And Renner agrees by stating, whose car are we going to take? I really didn't give a shit whether or not the RNC and the House Republicans thought that the J6 attendees were in violation of the law, trespassing. These people were supporting the party's lead candidate for the 2020 office of the President of the United States. How about maybe showing a modicum of solidarity with the people you rely on to put and keep you assholes in office? With all the mounting evidence that points to the fact that this was a psyop orchestrated by the Democrat Party, I'm of the mind that every single J6 conviction needs to be re-examined by the appellate court immediately. Mike, what's your take on the recent J6 revelation by Pelosi and the entire J6 event?
Yeah, the first thing top of mind is, I'm still seeing a ton of people and several of my left-leaning friends screaming about insurrection, especially anytime it's brought up on the leftist news organizations.
Agreed.
But, what's interesting is nobody was charged with that crime. Like you said, insurrection. Nobody, including Trump. And none of the people that were at the Capitol protests. But yet many on the left believe that's exactly what took place. They believe it was an insurrection because that's what they were told. It's propaganda. We both know brainwashing leftists is really, really easy. But damn, are they dumb? It's like, holy shit. These people are so deeply entrenched in their beliefs that it's like it would take the likes of Bill Maher, the entire leftist media, and pretty much all the Democrat politicians to step up and apologize and tell them that they were lied to, before these geniuses will accept reality. This is the first insurrection in history in which the accused were unarmed civilians without any serious intention or expectation of overthrowing the government. So I don't think it's a leap to say now that we know that, the piece of shit Nancy Pelosi, and she is a complete piece of shit. Not just for this, but she's a total piece of garbage. She not only lied to the American public, but she clearly wanted the protests to turn violent so that it could, like you said, it could further damage Trump, the GOP, and I think to help cement Democrat rule indefinitely. That fucking bitch should rot in prison for this, honestly.
Yeah. Truth is, this whole episode pisses me off to high heaven. And honestly, it should piss you viewers off as well. A minute fraction of our population, one that arguably lives outside the realm of social norms, now commands not only our attention, but our obedience. And this is bullshit. I actually went online to look up the word pride, and virtually every fucking image was of people half naked wearing rainbow colors screaming for their rights. In the same arena, we have the DC Swamp, who is arguably more powerful now than they've ever been, or at least more bold than they've ever been, using their power to set up the President of the United States and dismantle the Republican Party. If the United States doesn't recover just a small semblance of normalcy, it's going to destroy itself. And another country, maybe China or Russia, or maybe a combination of these two, will come in and they'll pick up the pieces and the experiment in freedom that was once hailed as the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America, will be no more. And this concludes today's presentation of Office of the Patriot. If you enjoy the content, please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our channel on your social media. It is appreciated. Also, please take the time to comment. I can't stress this enough. Engagement is the major metric social media platforms like YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter employ in their search algorithms. The more people that like and comment, the more the Office of the Patriot channel comes up when social and political content like this is searched for. And as always, have a blessed day. Stay safe out there.